What's up, y'all? This is John McLaughlin, representing with the Abacas. I'm here to give you my daily market report results for December 26th. This is actually my first video. I've been doing these DMRs for a couple months, putting my results on Facebook, but I figured I would make a video today and try to get that trend going to give a little bit more information. For those of you that don't know, the Abacas is a group dedicated to teaching exclusively black people the methods of generating generational wealth through the markets. That's all we do, and that's all we're focused on. And the DMR is one piece of what we do. Our founder, James Tompkins, has been putting out a DMR for, I think, over a year now. Where he gives out, a status of the market every morning and gives you some option plays to look at that you can consider playing that day. His win rate is something ridiculous, like 80% or something. And if you know anything about the markets, if you can win 80% of the time, you're going to generate a lot of wealth pretty quickly. And so he's been teaching members in the group how to build their own DMR. And like I said, we've been on this journey for a couple months. So this is my DMR for December 26th, as I said. So we'll just go through and see what was what. All the futures this morning were in the green. It was looking like a yellow day early in the morning. It ended up being a pretty strong green day. The Dow ended up over 100 points up. I know NASDAQ crossed 9,000 for the first time, and I'm pretty sure the S&P 500 hit a new high today as well. So it ended up being a pretty strong green day. And the first play I had today was a put on Uber. One of their co-founders, left their board and is selling all of his stock. So millions and millions of dollars of stock he was selling. I think in the long term, people think that's probably a good thing for the company, but I figured just because of a massive sell, that would down press the price a little bit in the short term. And I was right. As you see, it opened up at 85 cents today on that January 17th $30 put. Reached a high of 105. So that's about a 23.5% win right there. It did tail off later on in the day, but you could have got yourself a nice little return early in the morning. Secondly, I went with Hexo, which is a marijuana company in Canada. They also were selling a lot of shares. Their company is offering, I think, a couple $100 million worth of shares at a discount price because they're trying to raise some capital. Which is in the short term not going to be a great thing for them, selling off some shares to institutional investors because they need some cash. So that also indicated to me that their prices were going to go down a little bit today, which they did. As you can see, that one opened up at 40 cents per contract, reached a high of 60 cents. So a little 50% win for you right there. You can get 50% on your money one day, which is beautiful. Third, we went to Amazon. I think a lot of people in the group had their eyes on Amazon this morning. They reported record holiday sales early this morning. I don't think all of us expected it to do quite what it did, but I think we all kind of expected them to have a good day. That one was ridiculous. Over 2,000% win on that one. So it opened at $259, meaning you could have bought a contract for $259, and it reached a high late in the afternoon of $55.81, meaning that contract that you bought for $259, you could have sold for $5,581. So that's, $5,300 of profit you could have made in one day. So I don't know where else y'all know of where you can do that type of thing in one day legally, but the markets are where it's at. Now, every day obviously is not going to have something like that where you're able to get 2,000%, but when it happens, it's a beautiful thing. Next, I picked TC Energy Corp. Obviously, they're an energy company, and they have sold off one of their holdings. I think a well. I think if I remember correctly, they sold off some type of well for $250 million return. And so that's a good thing for them, getting some cash inflection. And that play didn't do much. Actually lost a little bit. Actually had really low volume. I want to say the volume for the whole day was only like 4 or 5 contracts. There is really high open interest on it. So there's like over 6,000 open interest. So I think that'll end up being a decent contract. I think you might have to hold on to it if you for a week or two and to get some returns. But it does go out till February, so I'll take a look back at that one in a couple weeks and see what it looks like. But for the day, it was negative 18%. And then lastly, I picked Royal Dutch Shell. They inked a deal, some licensing deal with Guyana for some new sources of oil, which I thought would be good for them. The option play didn't do much. The stock was up for the day a little bit, but again, this is one I think you may have to probably hold on to a little bit to actually get some return on. Opening up 40 cents and ended up at the day at 32 cents. So it was down about 20% on the day. Again, that's another one I'll check in a week or two. I really like Shell. They're in my CO Circle of 20. I think they're number 2 in the world in oil and gas behind Exxon. But I like them a lot. Every time I travel outside of the country, in the Caribbean or in Central America or whatever, you see Shells everywhere. They're a company out of the UK. So anywhere that Britain has been colonially, you'll find a lot of Shells. And I think that'll pay off for them in the long run as Latin America and as Africa develop and things. I think Shell looks good. But that's neither here nor there for this particular option. But overall for the day, good day. You had 2 solid winners, of 23% and 50%, which are great returns in and of themselves. Those are more so what you should be looking for, as opposed to this Amazon 2,000% return. But those do happen occasionally, and they're beautiful things when they do. So that's my DMR for the December 26th. If you want more information about the Abacas, about DMR training, or about what we do, feel free to hit me up, and I would be glad to share that information with you, get you started on your journey to generational wealth. All right, y'all, be easy. Have a good one.